purchasing.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education open for second consideration of Board Policy 3630, purchasing.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education open for second consideration of Board Policy 3630, purchasing. Discussion.
Yes, I have a question. Second paragraph says the chief financial officer is authorized to obtain competitive bids in the following manner. Who is this person?
Mr. Emerson.
That's what I thought.
At the moment.
At the moment, okay.
His office.
Okay. Okay, so I've seen on different forms, on one of the other forms, he's called the consultant. And I saw in another place he's called something different, so we need.
The chief financial officer in this policy is the person, it is the position that is held at the current time as Dr. Emerson. But yes, he is a consultant or he's contracted with Willow Run Community Schools, but he's still considered at this time filling the position of the chief financial officer.
Okay.
So that's why it says that in the policy.
Okay, thank you.
Adoption of policy 3630, purchasing.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education adopt Board Policy 3630, purchasing. Support.
It's been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education adopt Board Policy 3630, purchasing. Discussion. Ms. Meadows, do you?
Yeah, I had something on the last one, but that's okay.
Is this the same one?
This is the same one?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all righty. On the second page where it says, the board should be advised for prior approval of all purchases of equipment, material, and services when the purchase exceeds the function of 10%. Why was it decided for 10%?
Do you have an answer?
My answer would be that was boilerplate from
Right, MASB.
MASB.
Well, that's the real answer, but,
The simple answer.
yeah, I think the functional answer is that, you're doing when you're talking about the function, you're talking about budget, and that the budgets are based on estimates, and often are constructed before bids are taken, and are subsequently not exact budgets. And so some amount that was thought to be between material and this really big miss was somebody decided that 10% was if you were within 10%, that was good enough for budgeting purposes. More than that, we need to come back and talk about it, say that we decided, we've agreed that we need to buy this stuff, but we thought it was going to cost this, but it's going to cost really quite a bit more than the estimate. Whereas if it's pretty close to the estimate, 10% being somebody's arbitrary idea of the reasonable must miss it by, that then you say, God, we decided we need this, and it's costing a little bit more than we thought it was going to be, but it's not really that much more than do it. The expediency of
That part I understand. I was just wondering why the 10%.
it's 10%.
Yes.
I would presume that that's just somebody's idea. If that's the difference between a material difference, material miss, material.
So it's.
And when you say somebody, though, you're talking about the MASB.
So that's what I'm wondering. Is this relegated by MASB?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's all I needed to know.
Roll call.
Trustee Myers.
Aye.
Trustee Stewart.
Aye.
Trustee Meadows.
Aye.
Trustee Thomas.
Aye.
I vote aye, Mr. President.
Aye. Motion carries. Second consideration of policy 3510, post-issuance tax compliance policy.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education open for second consideration of Board Policy 3510, post-issuance tax compliance policy.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education open for second consideration of Board Policy 3510, post-issuance tax compliance policy. Discussion.
Mr. President, on page 1, near the bottom of the page, I believe, and it would be my recommendation that the chief financial officer be the employee title inserted for the purpose of serving as a debt compliance officer for the district. We need to have a title in there, and I believe that that person would be the most qualified within the district to be able to handle and understand this policy.
Yes, because that was my question, who's operating in this position now?
Yeah, that was something that I noticed that was missing there. And it appears that, well, maybe the compliance officer was the debt compliance officer, not the debt compliance officer. And also it just
The
looks
chief
like it was,
financial officer,
yeah,
whomever that might be.
right.
So are we in agreement that it's the
Actually-
chief financial officer?
Or do we want to, as we have on other issues, do we want to say, or assignee, designee, and that allows you the freedom to change it in the absence of a CFO?
We're always going to have a CFO.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
there
know
could-
that on this one.
Correct,
we
but
wanna
there
do
could be a
that.
period of time where CFO's not present and, or his contract's been terminated, we haven't put someone in place
Well,
yet.
then we go to ISD and do a temporary
Right,
immediately. So,
well,
I'm not sure you want to do this. This whole policy is predicated on federal tax compliance. These are bonds that are issued by, in this case, the school district, by government and non-taxable. The interest that is paid to whoever invests in this stuff is not, it's not subject to IRS taxation. And to comply with all the multitude of rules that are imposed on governmental agencies, so all this stuff is in the coil, you have to have a policy. And one of the issues in the policy is, or you have to comply with these, with the rules of the IRS, and one of the rules that the IRS has is you have to have a policy. This is a policy that's recommended by your financial consultants in order to turn law. Now, certainly, in this case, the school business office is involved in servicing these debts, but in terms of setting them up, we really don't do that. We hired, the last time we hired Steffel Williams, people who are in the business of setting these up, and the financial opinion comes from, in this case, came from that body, Durham Law, and much in the report that we can track with a company from Chicago, of all places, the CPA outfit specializes in doing arbitrage opinions. And so I'm not sure exactly the compliance officer, depending on what stage of the review you're talking about, may not necessarily be an employee of the district. It may be-
Why is
I
it
don't
asked?
know if I didn't read this, though, that, it's perfectly fine to go out with all these, but somebody's got to be responsible for making sure it gets done, and that was the way I read
Yeah.
it.
Right, because I'm
That's the
thinking
way I
that's
read
why
it.
Truan has it in parentheses as an employee title.
Right. that's what I read.
But this is wording that came not from, this is one that did not come from the ministry, this came from.
Right.
which is why I went with CFO,
Right.
because it says employee title. I mean, I have no problem putting CFO or designee.
It primarily says the debt compliance officer shall ensure the district maintains a record of compliance, so it
Right.
doesn't say you gotta do it yourself.
You just need to make sure it gets done.
Crack that whip.
So do you
I
have
mean, what is your
problems
recommendation?
with,
Right, what is your recommendation?